mindfulmarketplace.com. And if you hear dogs barking in the background, I apologize. There is an ambulance passing, which feels like the most outrageous thing possible to the three dogs in my household. So, all right, I want to share a really simple heuristic for those of you who are building digital media brands, online agencies, and marketing style companies. I'm also going to give you a couple other shortcuts that you can use. This is all in the members area below. If you're not part of our community, I certainly advise you to sign up, and you can download this and an audio that accompanies this and offers a little bit extra depth and dimension to this process. But essentially, if you aren't yet familiar with the idea of impact mapping, it's a very simple kind of shortcut for defining who your ideal audience is, who your customers may be, what products that you are offering them, and ultimately what outcomes those products or deliverables create in the world, right? So the difference that your brand brings into the universe that you serve. So I have a little bit of a different spin on this and a little bit of a different process map, but I'm going to share with you the basics right here below. So essentially, you start with the why. So what is the big idea? What is the animating insight or magical motivation? What is the problem that you're solving? Right? This is, to my mind, just another way of answering or asking that particular question. All right, who? Right? So who are you solving it for? Who are the audiences, or as the impact mapping people like to call, who are the actors that you need to reach to succeed, right? So who is it that is your audience? Who do you need to who do you need to reach to actually accomplish your goals, right? So try to filter everything I'm saying through objectives, which would be this, right? Your big idea, objections, which we'll cover in a second, offers, which we'll cover in a second, actors and audiences, which is here, and ultimately outcomes, right? Which is the transformation that your product or service brings out into the world by dint of your offer. All right. So number three, how, right? What is the rock star result? How do we transform our audience by virtue of what we deliver? This is really the crucial piece of the process to me, right? You have to have some sort of rock star result to really get people excited, enthusiastic, and really motivated to choose you over the cacophony of other voices that may be trying to appeal to the same audience as you. And finally, what, right? So what is the product, the service, or the deliverable that actually changes lives and transforms an audience into superheroes? I don't remember exactly where I had initially seen this years ago, but someone smart had created a graphic that I think was quite efficient at communicating this sort of process. And essentially, it was, people don't buy your products; they buy the rock star result that you facilitate in their lives. And I think that's a really appropriate way of kind of or a filter by which you can kind of run all of your ideas through from a marketing standpoint, from a brand building standpoint, or maybe said more succinctly, through an offer standpoint, right? So are your offers leading to outcomes that make your audience feel like a rock star? In this case, this particular rock star or superhero looks like Darth Vader meets Superman, I think. So that's really not a good representation of what I'm trying to convey. But I'm limited in terms of my design assets. All right. So in all seriousness, there's another way of thinking about this, which I also really like, and you've probably heard me talk about before, which is this idea of strategy, structure, sequence, and story. So strategy is, what is the big idea, right? So what is your big animating insight, or what is motivating you to do the work that you're doing in the world. Structure, what does it look like on paper, like what when you map it out, right? Like what are the important pieces that you have to see in your map to make all this work. Sequence, what goes where and why, right? So how are you sequencing a marketing campaign in a way that makes all the dominoes fall in a specific direction. And then finally, story, right? Why it matters to you, and ultimately why it matters to me, right? So why, you want to bring people on board some larger vision, which leads to some larger transformation in the world that people want to sign up with or sign up for, be part of, to share, to evangelize for, etc., etc. All right, so all of these things are really simple shortcuts and exercises that you can do, that if you do them properly, you turn the scales in your favor to such a degree that it's almost impossible to fail. If you just throw shit out into the world with this notion that someone's going to buy something that sticks, invariably you're going to get beaten by someone smarter, faster, cheaper, or just by dint of pure coincidence and happenstance, someone's going to get to your audience before you do. But if you're constantly asking better questions and really laying out these sorts of timelines and doing these exercises like this, you're going to find that the right clients and the right customers and the right community come to you if you do this with consistency, clarity, and with a certain amount of vision. Okay, so this is available to download at your in your members area, and I'm also going to record a short audio to accompany this to answer some of the questions that some of you have been asking about some of these maps that I've been sharing in our group. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Again, this is Ian from mindfulmarketplace.com, and our brand new series is called Serve and Scale, where we look at what can you borrow to build, what can you leverage to launch, what makes you look like a magician, a superhero, a wizard, or a wonderkind in your niche market, vertical or local community. Thanks so much, and I'll see everyone soon.